Party people, buckle up and get your bobsledding helmets on. Elana Meyers Taylor. When you're watching on TV, you're like, oh, that looks so smooth.
Elegant.
When I started bobsled and when I started this Olympic journey and whatever, I never ever thought I'd be where I am right now. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I don't like roller coasters. I actually get motion sick, and quite a few people in our sport do.
I was like wanting to vomit in the sled. And I got it and I was like, bah, 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 bah.
Attention. The party is about to commence.
Welcome to the party.
What's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Abby Wambach. What's up?
Abigail. Coming up later in the show, Olympian Elana Meyers Taylor is competing in her fifth, count them, fifth Olympics. She's also happens to be the most decorated Black athlete in Winter Olympic history. And we slowed her down for a quick convo before she headed to the games, so you don't want to miss this. I'm so excited for that.
Jules, I'm so proud of you and impressed because I watched Katie's save this weekend. Your 30 for 30. Is it a 30 for 30?
It's an E60.
An E60, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
ESPN's E60.
About Katie Meyer and that whole story. And it was so beautiful and hard and horrifying. And I don't know, I felt like you gave us the space to feel all the feelings. And we watched it with our daughter, which if you have a child who is in or going to school, any school, whether you're an athlete or not, sit down and watch this with your kid. It allowed space for conversation that I wasn't even planning on having. So I just wanted to say thank you. You're like a hero for getting this out there, especially being a Stanford grad. And kind of talking about this story and exposing Stanford in the right ways. I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it is a hard watch. It's the hardest piece and story I've ever done.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know who Katie Meyer is, she was a Stanford soccer player. She was the captain. She tragically died by suicide almost 4 years ago in 2022. And I had met her and did not know her well, but I had met her before and really wanted to tell her story because she was just life personified, vibrant, and she was the captain and she was a role model for so many. She was joyful, she was feisty, she was all the things. Like everyone always talked about Katie, possibly being a president one day of the United States and not saying it as a joke. It was like, no, she could do that. She was about to graduate and wanted to go on to Stanford Law School. So it is, I will just say, I do hope, as Abby, as you said, that you will watch it. It's no longer under a paywall. If you don't have ESPN Plus, you can watch it on YouTube and just Google Katie Meyer's story. There's a shorter version, but I highly recommend watching the full version, which is about 48 minutes, so you can learn what happened. And hopefully the idea of doing this story was that no other family, Steve and Gina are her incredible, amazing parents. No other family has to go through this. And the good news is that the wrongful death lawsuit that the Meyers filed against Stanford was settled recently at the end of January. And as Steve said to me, and we can finally put our swords down because we love the Stanford community and Katie loved Stanford. And so, we're telling you all of this because we are going to have Gina and Steve Meyer, Katie's parents, on the pod at the end of February. So go check it out if you can and go hug your kids.
Yeah.
All right, Abs, thank you for watching that. I appreciate that.
It was amazing. I'm so impressed. It's amazing. And it's a public service to all parents that are sending their kids to college. sit down, watch your kids, hug your kids. It's really, really
and
important.
Most importantly, hopefully there will be change that happens within the universities, disciplinary actions, and especially at Stanford. So, and I can't wait to talk to the Meyers and catch up with them. They're amazing humans. All right, coming up, we're going to talk to another amazing human. We are going to talk to one of the most courageous athletes we know because, y'all, a bobsled run has been described as 90 miles an hour of controlled chaos. Literally no suspension, no forgiveness, just pure ice and G-forces slamming your body while you try to thread a 400-pound rocket through turns the width of, and if you've seen it on TV, it's not wide, a yoga mat, actually. As bobsledding legend Stephen Holcomb put it, it's like driving a car on ice while someone punches you in the kidneys. And we've got one of the best in the business, now 5-time Olympian, Elana Meyers Taylor. She'll be hitting the track this Sunday in the monobob, and later next week, the two women on February 20th and 21st. But before we get to Elana, let's get this party started with the highlights and headlines you'll want to celebrate this week in women's sports. Abs, you want to go first?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so USA. We go gold, silver in women's moguls. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, Elizabeth Lemley won gold with an 82.3, becoming Olympic champion at just 20 years old.
Crazy.
Tish just turned 20 and delivering the first U.S. 1-2 finish in women's freestyle skiing history. Congratulations, Elizabeth Lemley. Jalen Koff grabbed silver, matching her Beijing silver from 4 years ago. Jules, so Lemley, first-time Olympian and the youngest member of the American Moguls team. She trailed the defending Olympic champion, Jakara Anthony from Australia, by less than a point in early qualification, and then she delivered the cleanest, most aggressive turn run of the night in the final. Okay, and in the Moguls, turns count for 60% of the score. So I don't know much, but I think the turns are the times where their knees jam straight into
like
their
bouncing.
chest, and they're like bam, bam,
bam, bam,
it's like
and they're so graceful.
It feels so aggressive and so intense, but their body and the line of their body is the same, and their knees are just going. It's incredible to watch. It's like, it feels like a feat of physics. I don't understand how this is happening.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah, and also Koff had to battle back after sitting 24th in the first round of qualifying, forcing her into second qualifier just to reach the final, and then still fought her way on to the podium. Congratulations, you two. We're so glad you're bringing home gold and silver for the U.S.
Yeah, love it. Okay, an update on Lindsey Vonn after her horrifying crash. It turns out she suffered a complex tibia fracture during the women's downhill race, as we all saw, after clipping that gate just seconds into her run. And they said the injury is stable, but will require multiple surgeries.
Yeah.
Her IG post after the crash in part said, and I love this, to all the haters, I also knew that racing was a risk. And similar to ski racing, we take risks in life. We dream, we love, we jump. And sometimes we fall. Sometimes our hearts are broken. Sometimes we don't achieve the dreams we know we could have. But that is also the beauty of life. We can try. I tried, I dreamt, I jumped. I hope if you take away anything from my journey, it's that you all have the courage to dare greatly. Life is too short not to take chances on yourself, because the only failure in life is not trying. I believe in you just as you believed in me. Oh.
Yeah, I also saw that she said, she decided to take a shorter line, like a more
aggressive.
The aggressive line, right? And she's like, this is the difference between 5 inches, but she decided to take it because she knew that she needed to make up time. And that was like a decision she made, so we are sending our healing vibes. I know what it's like to have a broken tibia, not a complex one, but I know what it's like to have broken your tibia, and probably she's going to need some hardware put in there, and just sending you so much love, Lindsay.
Yeah. And her dad, Lindsay's dad, said, "There will be no more ski races for Lindsey Vonn, at least if I have anything to say about it." I get that, Dad.
Yeah.
I get that. He's like, "You're done,"
Yeah.
according to my book.
I hear that. I feel that way. I'm like, oh, come on. Okay. But who knows? She's a fighter. Who knows?
Also in skiing, Michaela Schifrin and Breezy Johnson finished just off the podium, 4th in the 2026 Winter Olympics Alpine Team Combined event, narrowly missing that podium by 0.06. Yeah, seconds.
That's like no time.
I know, but fear not. Schifrin and Johnson are not done. They will continue to compete at these games, so it's not over for them yet. Plus, fellow Americans Jacqueline Wiles and Paula Moltzen took home the bronze medal in the event, so still good news. Party people. Yes.
Well done. We are going to turn to USA Curling Mixed Doubles. They grabbed the silver medal, or as Julie likes to say it, they grabbed the white gold. Corey Dropkin and Corey Teesey, a.k.a. Girl Corey and a.k.a. Boy Corey, took home silver and became the first Americans to earn a curling medal in the Olympics mixed doubles. I think it was really incredible because they knocked out the defending champs against Italy in Italy. And I don't know if you saw that, Jules, but it was so incredible to watch because it was this beautiful shot at the end. I don't know if they're called shots, but it was this beautiful moment.
Throws.
They, like,
I think they're called
out
throws.
Throws. Okay. Because okay.
I did my explainer video.
It was incredible. So go back and watch that match before they got to the gold medal round. And unfortunately, eventually losing 6-5 to Sweden. Their bus,
This
Jules,
is such a great story.
This is interesting, was caught in heavy traffic on the way to the game, and they asked the driver if they should just get out and walk. Luckily, he let us. So
they
Corey, they just walked. Girl Corey said, right? So then she said it had nothing to do with their loss, and I love that. She's like taking complete accountability. TC became the first U.S. female curler to win an Olympic medal.
Yes.
The two Coreys are from Duluth, Minnesota, and for me, this was like extra special. And in the state that's been through so much lately, I just want to make them know that how proud we are. We see you as American heroes, and we are so proud of you.
All right. And then finally in our party starter, abs. Team USA crushes Canada in women's hockey. Oh, my gosh. 5-0 win over Canada to finish the preliminary round. Yeah. And that's the first time the U.S. has shut out Canada in Olympic history.
It's amazing.
Right?
Yeah.
Canada, to be fair, was without their team captain, Marie-Philippe Poulin, who has... her nickname is Captain Clutch. That tells you everything you need to know. She has been the go-to in like the last 500 Olympics, I feel like. This woman has scored every goal for them. She's always crushing the souls of the U.S. players because she comes in so clutch on so many plays. She didn't play, unfortunately, and I know the U.S. would want her to play as well in that game against the U.S. because she suffered a lower body injury in the first period against Czechia on February 9th. So hopefully she'll be healthy again and back. But great news, Layla Edwards, the first black woman to compete on a U.S. Olympic hockey team, scored her first Olympic goal.
It was a banger, too. It was so good. Oh.
Yeah. And it was the third straight shutout in a row for the U.S. They've outscored their opponents 21-1 in those first 4 games. So quarterfinals are next. And as Kendall Coyne said to us, Schofield, when I said, y'all been crushing Canada, I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but what does that mean? She was like, Julie, one game at a time.
Yeah.
Right. And perhaps the cutest moment of the Olympics.
Get out of here with her son.
Yeah. When that puck like flew into the crowd and it flew right to Michael Schofield, Kendall's husband, and Drew. And then Drew was holding it and Michael held Drew up, the 2-year-old, like Lion's King. The crowd
Lion
went
King.
nuts.
Yes, it was so sweet.
Lion
and Jules,
King
guess
style.
what?
What?
I think I'm going to a game because I'm going to Milan on Saturday.
Yes.
I'm going to the game.
Which
I
game?
think on the 16th.
The final?
Yeah. So we are going to be recording on Monday on the 16th, and I'm going to call in right after the women's hockey game.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I'm very
You
excited.
and King are both going, and Julie No Mates over here is going to be in America cheering like a maniac on TV. Julie No Olympics over here.
I know. We're going to be shooting. I'm going to be recording. It'll be like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. my time. And it'll be like, I don't know, 11
Oh, it'll
a.m.
be
your
fun.
time.
You're going to
Yeah.
be all hyped.
I'm so excited.
Are you sure you want to record? You might want to go out and hang with the U.S. team.
No,
You
Glenn
can,
and
you can
I
grab
don't.
them after.
Glenn and I don't party. We just go back to the hotel room and sleep. That's what happens.
Okay, and some things to keep your eye on this weekend. Chloe Kim, bless her, after her shoulder injury, picked up right where she left off, topping the field in the half pipe qualifying, which is great news, building toward what could be a historic Olympic gold three-peat.
Let's go.
Yes, and then Michaela Schifrin begins her hunt for individual gold on Sunday at 4:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Get on up, party people. And Erin Jackson looks to defend her gold medal in the 500 Sunday at 8:03 PST. I don't know why 03, but 8:03. You've got to be detailed. And the unrivaled 1v1 tournament final Saturday, 3 p.m. Pacific on TNT and True TV. That is your party starter. And thanks to Ally for sponsoring this segment. As we know, Ally is more than a bank, and their Do It Right approach helps customers unlock their economic potential and guides their efforts as a leading sponsor in women's sports. And just like us, Ally believes that when women in sports win, we all have a reason to party. Ally Bank, member FDIC.
All right, you guys, stick around. Elana Meyers Taylor is coming right up. Okay, so Jules, Peloton is shaping the future of fitness with the brand new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus
Have
powered.
it.
It's the most incredible thing. It's powered by Peloton IQ.
Yeah, have it. It is amazing. And as you can imagine, Abs, I'm pretty particular about how I work out because I can't just like run on my own anymore. I can't just run like that. Like, obviously, we spent our life doing that and training that way, but it is the hardest thing. And I won't do it. I just won't. I won't do it anymore. It's not enjoyable. And that's why this new Peloton Tread Plus is amazing, because you get all the classes, of course, in front of you. So you feel like you're in a class, but you can totally mix things up. You're not just running. You can swivel that screen and you can get off and start doing a little boot camp on the side. It's so cool. The swivel, I was like, what?
It's the best. It's been a game changer for me because, like you, I can't run, but I can't run because I have foot problems. And so the tread and the forgiving nature of the actual tread helps me to be able to actually move. I can walk on there. I can get an incline on there. I can swivel that screen. But I think what I love most is that the screen swivels in a way where I can guide and I can do the Pilates on the ground. I can do weightlifting. I'm like literally looking at this Peloton Plus tread. It's just like
in
so
your basement.
Cool.
It's down
and
there
my
in your
wife
basement.
loves it. Seriously, I'm stunned at how much I actually didn't know I needed this. It mixes up my weekly routine. It's guides by instructors. Like I feel like I've got friends and I've got trainers on my side now.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it too. I love it. So let yourself run, lift, sculpt, push, and go. It does it all. Explore the new Peloton Cross Training Tread Plus at onepeloton.com. Abigail. We, and I know this about us, love a scrappy startup.
That's what we are.
That's what we are. And we also know quite a bit about launching our own ventures. And look, I have a ton of friends who have done it too. But when you run a business, sometimes you can be a little too scrappy. Sometimes you end up doing the work of 10 people all by yourself.
Yes.
And that's why we cannot recommend QuickBooks enough.
They say
Because here's what we've learned, and sometimes the hard way. When you run a business, doing it yourself quietly turns into doing absolutely everything yourself.
Everything.
Yeah. And eventually, as we know, that stops feeling brave and scrappy and good and starts feeling exhausting. QuickBooks gives you an actual team, AI agents, and trusted experts. So doing it yourself no longer means doing it alone. Your numbers, your data, your insights, everything is finally in one place. And you can actually see what's going on and move forward with confidence. Outdo it with Intuit QuickBooks. Learn more about Intuit QuickBooks at quickbooks.com. Okay, party people, now to the partiest part of our party. Elana Meyers Taylor has competed in four Winter Olympic Games already. She's already won 5 Olympic medals in bobsled, 3 silvers, 2 bronze, and she is the most decorated Black athlete in Winter Olympic history. I'm going to say it again. The most decorated Black athlete in Winter Olympic history. And somehow she's still chasing the one thing missing from her unbelievable resume, Olympic gold. She's medaled in every single Olympic event she has ever entered. And in this next Olympics, she could become the most decorated U.S. woman in Winter Olympic history. And while she's doing all that, she's raising 2 young sons who are 5 and 3 years old with disabilities, learning ASL as a family, traveling the world with what she calls the Meyers Taylor traveling circus, and showing all of us what it looks like to lead with your heart and fight like hell for your dreams. But beyond the accolades and the records, what we think truly makes her extraordinary is the way she carries the weight of representation, motherhood, and being a barrier breaker. Party people, buckle up and get your bobsledding helmets on. Elana Meyers Taylor, welcome to the party!
Well, thanks for having me at the party. I appreciate it. And also, I had no idea that stat about, if I win more medals, I could become the most decorated woman ever. So I don't know if that adds a little pressure or...
You didn't know that?
No, I had no idea. But, as athletes, you never really know about those stats. Those are all things people tell you. And it's funny when they come up with these ESPN stats or whatever. It's like, you're the only person to win a race on a Tuesday in the 6 a.m. hour with your left shoe untied. You're like, okay, cool, I guess.
Yeah.
That's kind of an important one, though. You could become the most decorated U.S. woman in Winter Olympic history. Yo, we are here for you for all your stat needs if you need us.
Yeah, you could tie with Bonnie Blair.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a pretty big stat, especially because with bobsled, for so long, you only had one opportunity anyway, so that would have taken me much longer. Now with the 2 opportunities and 2 races, it's a complete game changer. So we have the monobob and we have the 2 women now, whereas most of my career, we only had 2 women, so we only had 1 medal opportunity.
Right.
Wait, you have a monobob? Can you explain that to me? What the hell is that?
Yeah, monobob, which is actually the sled that's on my shirt. So monobob is a new discipline. It got added in the 2022 Beijing Olympics, and so it's just one person in sled, one person pushing and driving, almost the exact same weight as a 2-man sled, but it was traditionally used as a development sled, so it was traditionally used for new drivers to learn how to drive a bobsled, but now it's its own event. And so it's funny is some of the people in the field actually have more experience than me in monobob, because when I learned to drive almost 20 years ago, there was actually, you learned in a 2-person, so you learned with somebody behind you, so you're learning with crashing and all this kind of stuff, and somebody's behind you, versus now they learn just with 1 person in sled, so they actually have more experience in the discipline than I do, which is kind of funny, given how long I've been driving bobsleds.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is crazy. Well, just going down this road a little more, if you medal, right, then you would tie Bonnie Blair for the most Winter Olympic medals by a U.S. woman. With 2 medals, so as your point with monobob, you would hold the standalone record with 7 medals.
That's incredible. That's definitely something I didn't know. But it's cool to even Like I never, when I started bobsled and when I started this Olympic journey and whatever, I never like ever thought I'd be where I am right now. Like after I won my first medal in 2010, like I thought I'd done everything there was to do in life. Like I was like, I got a bronze medal. Nobody could tell me anything. I could go home and I don't have to accomplish anything else in my life again. Of course, we know, especially as female athletes, that's not true. Like, but at the time, I thought I was set forever. So it's kind of funny now to be in here. In this position to even have the opportunity to go for it, to try and win 2 more medals is pretty cool.
Oh my.
You know what I love most about that, Abs, is that you like it doesn't matter to you. Like you're doing it. Like that's not the driving force, which is so healthy.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. You don't even know. You're like great. Elana, can you share how a crushed softball dream I want you to rewind, led to a 20-year bobsled career?
Oh gosh. Well, the good news is I grew up right outside of Atlanta, so I watched the 96 games, and of course the 96 games was the game for female athletes. And so to see softball and soccer and basketball and everybody winning gold medals left and right, like it was just incredible. And so I knew I wanted to be an Olympian then and there. And it's funny, I remember watching the 1999 World Cup. I remember exactly where I was, exactly the restaurant, because I was watching the entire game with my softball team in between our tournament and everything like that. And so I'm watching the 99 World Cup and having those visions of, hey, I'm going to make it as an Olympic softballer. But of course, that didn't happen. So I played at George Washington University. I played professionally, and I had an Olympic tryout. And I thought, great, I'm going to get this Olympic tryout. I'm going to nail it. I'm going to go in there and do it. And I had the worst tryout in the history of tryouts. And when I say this, like, I know softball's subjective. I know teams are subjectively picked. But anybody who was there or anybody who isn't there, I can tell you it was objectively the worst tryout in the history of tryouts. So
I can relate.
There's no chance I was making that team. And then softball was taken out of the games. And so at that point, like, I was like, well, I still want to be an Olympian. What else can I do? I don't know what that looks like, but my parents had actually seen bobsled on TV and were like, hey, why don't you try this? I was like, sure, why not? I Googled it, emailed the coach, and got invited to a tryout, and the rest is history. And that was in 2007. So I've been in this game a long time, but it all started in a failed softball career.
What are all the disciplines for bobsled? Can you explain that to me?
Yep, so there's monobob, there's 2 women, 2 person, and then there's 4-man. And so for the longest time, women had actually fought, and myself included, to drive 4-man sleds and to have our own discipline for 4 women. Because men, since bobsled was in the Olympics, long story short, women's bobsled only got added to the Olympics in 2002. We won the first gold medal as the U.S., of course. But women's bobsled only got added in 2002, and they only added 1 discipline. And so men's bobsled is one of the oldest Olympic sports. It's been in the Olympics forever, but they've always had 2 opportunities to medal. And so as women, we always wanted more opportunities to medal. We wanted to do the 4-man discipline. And so me and another group of girls, we fought to be able to have an opportunity to do 4-man. We raced against men, we competed against men, and actually quite a few of us were successful. We were beating men and everything like that. And then finally, they saw the push that we were making to have 2 medal opportunities, and instead of saying, hey, you guys can do 4-man or do 4 women, they said, hey, you can do monobob. So it was quite a switch there. And so they gave us this monobob sled. So now women have 2 opportunities, men have 2 opportunities, but the men have the 4-man and 2-person at the games, and the women have monobob and 2-man.
This is going to be a little bit sidetracky, but I was in Norway when I was a 20-year-old. And this is where the Lillehammer Winter Olympics were. And so they had the bobsled course created. And this is summertime. And I got a chance to go into a bobsled, but they had like rubber wheels on it and they drive the thing down. And it was like the most scary thing that's ever happened because I'm just strapped in there. Somebody is driving this thing. And you're experiencing these G forces going around the turns. Can you talk about like what that is like? Like, are you just like used to it now, or going into the turns and experiencing those G's? Is that something that like still kind of literally weighs on you?
Oh, literally, my back is trashed. Like, it's completely, like, I don't know what I'm going to do post bobsled between pregnancies and bobsledding for close to 20 years. Like, my back is just done because that G forces, and, at some tracks they say we go 4 to 5 to even up to 8 Gs, and that pressure on our literal backs and our spines going down the tracks. And that's the thing, too, is like you felt that in the summer. Like, we don't do the summer bobsleds. Part of it, the reason is because we need the break. So from October to April or October to March, in the winter side, we're in sleds, we're competing, we're training, we're doing all that. And on the opposite end, April to October, we're not in sleds at all, but we also need time for our spines to unload and things like that because all the pressure that gets on it. So we've got pressure from competition, but also pressure that's weighing down on us. So it's a lot physically on your body.
Literally.
But yeah, but the biggest thing is, like, as a brakeman, I was a brakeman for as long as I needed to be, and that was about it. I'm not an adrenaline junkie. I don't like roller coasters. I actually get motion sick, and quite a few people in our sport do. But I'm in the front of the sled, so it's like driving a car. Motion sickness isn't as bad when you're driving. And the same thing in a bobsled. Like, I have every curve in my memorized in my head, and so I know what all the curves are like. Like, I'm focused on a task, so I'm not motion sick or anything like that. So those same kind of feelings like you feel as a passenger in the back of a bobsled, I don't feel that because I'm in control. And literally, like, I think that's like why I love bobsled so much, is because it gives me the ability and power to control something that feels so uncontrollable.
I did the same thing in Park City, but on the snow or on the ice. Went down in a bobsled, and when you're watching on TV, you're like, oh, that looks so smooth.
Yeah.
OMG. Same thing, abs. I was like wanting to vomit in the sled, and you've got this helmet on, and you're rattling against both sides, like my head. And then the G's, and they're like, and I went down with Shauna Roebuck, a former bobsledder. She was driving, and I was behind her, and she's like, "Do you want to go again?" And I was like, "Hell no."
I want to do that. I want to go down on the ice. Like, I do feel like I'm a little bit of an adrenaline junkie for sure. But what I want to know too, like, because you're a driver, it's connected to skates, essentially, like long skates, right? Like that would be on like that you would wear go ice skating. Like, that's what's underneath the bobsleds. Like, what do you call that?
We call them runners, and technically they're rounded, so they're not like this, like a skate or an ice skate or hockey skate is a sharp edge. Ours is actually a rounded edge. So it's actually like controlled gliding, so to speak. And so we are actually driving these things. So there's a pulley system, and basically, like, in our hands, you have what are called D-rings. They're literally in the shape of the Ds. If you want to go left, you pull your left D-ring towards you. You want to go right, you pull your right D-ring towards you. And that moves our runners left and right. So it's just a pulley system. But you got to imagine, it's like you're doing this on ice. So sometimes the pulls are as simple as opening and closing your hands. And, like, one of the worst concussions I've had was a simple matter of this. Like, all I had to do was this, and I could have avoided a concussion completely. Like, it's insane. Like, our sport is insane. But like I said, I love it. But Julie, when you went down too, you went down with Shauna, who was also one of my drivers, who was one of the best drivers in the world, one of the best drivers the U.S. has ever had. Like, you can't even imagine what it would have felt like if you went down with like an okay driver, like, because it feels that crazy with a really good driver. With drivers with less experience, it is like intolerable.
Oh, really? Because well, thank you, Shauna, for that. But it was crazy. I still to this day am like, oh my gosh, that was an experience I did not anticipate. Because it does. When you're watching on TV, it looks so graceful and
elegant,
smooth and elegant, and you're just kind of like, going down like you would on a ski slope, slowly turning. And then I got it, and I was like, bah, 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 bah. And I just remember her like, yeah, let's go again. I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not going again. So I imagine you must be like, give me April through October or whatever you said your break was. I need that break for my back, for my body. Okay, also, I am fascinated that I saw your IG post, Elana, and because you said On October 18th, the boys and I will leave home, and if all goes well, we won't be back until after the Olympics in February. So we're talking with a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Like I said, I think I'm a glutton for punishment a little bit here. So it is chaos every single day, but I wouldn't have it other way, because like I reached this point in my sporting career where I was like, okay, I'd won medals, and I still wanted to win more. Of course, I was in a position to win more, but it didn't really have meaning behind it. And having kids kind of gave me meaning to my sport. Like at the end of the day, especially being a mom with kids with disabilities, like I want to show them that you can go out there and fight for your dreams, and you can go out there and overcome obstacles and do all of this, no matter what the world says to you. Because like at the ages of 3 and 5, they've already had plenty of people in their lives tell them no, they can't do something, they won't do something. And so, you know, as a 41-year-old mom of 2, there's plenty of people telling me this isn't going to happen and it can't happen. So it's my job as a mom to model that for them. And so that's why it's important to have them on the road. It's important to figure out how to make it work. And it looks chaotic every single day. And we travel with a nanny, and she's been amazing and helps us every step of the way. But there's a lot of chaos. But at the end of the day, like I have to model that for them. So then when that person comes up to them and tells them no, that they don't listen at all. And literally they can't listen because they're deaf, so they literally just don't take any heart in it.
Wow.
Tell us more about that as well.
Yeah, so them being deaf is like, we had no history of deafness in our family. I mean, I think everybody has some kind of history of hearing loss, but it's usually as your parents age. Like everybody, if you live long enough, you'll get some kind of disability, which is pretty cool because it's the only minority group that everybody can join. Everybody has potential to join. So if you're blessed enough to live long enough, more than likely you'll start to lose your hearing, or you'll start to lose your vision or something like that. But in general, we had no history of deafness. We had no history of hearing loss. So to have our first son not only be born with Down syndrome, but be born with hearing loss and profound deafness, like it was a shock to us. But at the same time, we've been met with arms wide open by the deaf community, by the Down syndrome community, and they've really walked us through this entire journey. So as a family, we do, our primary language is American Sign Language. That's my shirt, bobsled and sign language. And so it's been a learning process the entire way, just trying to figure this out and trying to figure out what it looks like. And the biggest thing is just having confidence in yourself as a parent, is like you're going to figure your kids out regardless.
Do you have to support yourself through this entire process of being a bobsledder? Like, how do you survive?
Right.
Like, I don't understand how that works for bobsledders.
I don't understand how it works either, because it's crazy expensive. And so long story short, no, they don't provide any additional funding for nanny services or anything like that. And traditionally in our sports and in winter sports, a lot of times when you end up having a child, most women end up retiring, but now it's getting more and more common for women to have their children and continue traveling, but most of the time they do it with their spouse. So I'm part of a new wave who's actually doing it with the nanny services, and so far the infrastructure isn't quite in place for that yet. For me, I've relied heavily on sponsors, and with it being an Olympic year, I've been able to get some really good sponsors. But I think one reporter had asked me, like, after almost 20 years of bobsledding, am I going to walk away with a paycheck? And I said, if I didn't have kids, yeah, I'd probably walk away with a paycheck, but also I would have walked away a long time ago. So, but having kids and, 4 months on the road in European hotels and in little ski towns, like, it's not cheap. And then hiring a nanny and the salary and stuff like that. So I won't walk away with a check from bobsled. I'll walk away with some debt, but at the end of the day, like, I can't pass up this experience. Like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to make sure my kids have this experience. And because it's also been an experience not only for them to be able to learn how to interact in a hearing world and how to interact people without disabilities, but also it's been really good for the other athletes too, because a lot of the other athletes, the first deaf people they've met, or the first person with Down syndrome they've met, have actually been my sons, which is pretty incredible, because I've had athletes come up to me and tell me, like, when they're thinking about parenting and all that kind of stuff, like, Down syndrome isn't as scary anymore. Like, they're not afraid of what could happen in pregnancy and all the many, many things that can happen in pregnancy. They're not as afraid anymore, which has been pretty cool to have that feedback.
Alana, you are amazing.
Wow.
I mean, just being a mom is on its own is hard.
Yes.
Like, to do it, and the other thing is, I always think, when people look at Olympians, they see the shiny object, they see the end product, they see the glamour and the glitz, and they don't realize sometimes the grind, the commitment, the love of the sport and the family and all those things that go into it. And you are this like living, breathing example of all of that. Oh, that's amazing to me.
It is amazing. And I feel like it's not it's not fair that you're going to be walking away potentially with any kind of debt as an Olympian. Like that's making me very upset right now. Like is there anything that our listeners can do to support you specifically in this process? Because I hate the fact that there are so many Olympic sports women who are spending their own money in order to do their job.
I think the biggest thing has been outside athletes, like creating the infrastructure and creating the tools that we need to be able to get to where we want to go. Like, for instance, Alicia Montano created For All Mothers, and that provides childcare grants to us, and that's provided childcare grants to, I think, all the bobsled and skeleton, which is face first down the ice. Skeleton is our sister sport. They travel with us and everything like that. So they've created grants to help us offset costs with childcare and things like that. And Allison Felix has done amazing things within the IOC, within the USOPC to try and help us with that. But also, like, we're continuing to advocate within the groups that we're in. Bobsled itself is one of the more expensive sports. So to be honest, that's part of it. It's like our equipment is crazy expensive, and so like I just dropped $6,000 on a set of runners, and you have to. And I don't even know if those runners will be the runners I need for the Olympic Games. And so ideally, I'd have 3 or 4 sets of that. And so you're talking $24,000 right there just in equipment, and that's maybe I'll use at the Olympic Games. So when you add in childcare expenses, when you add in all that kind of stuff, it just adds up, and so that ends up making our sports really expensive. And so the biggest thing is, like, for me, where I'm at in the sport is like even just starting at the position where it's acceptable to have kids on tour. And so now we've crossed that barrier, because for a long time it hasn't been acceptable to have kids on tour. And so now on tour there's even a father traveling around with his kids, which is really cool, because you would have never seen that. Like, the long belief in our sport is if you're a dad, you leave your kids at home, you don't see them for 6 months and all this kind of stuff like that. So now to have a father, in addition to my husband, when he was bobsledder, of course we all traveled with our son and everything like that, but now to have even fathers feel like it's okay to travel with their kids on tour, like, we've come a long way. And so that was the first barrier. The next barrier is, like you said, getting that financial support and continuing to push and get those kind of things. And I think as more and more athletes do it, we'll be able to get that kind of support, but we're just not there yet. But so far, it's been incredible athletes outside of the USOPC, outside of those formal organizations, that have created their own organizations to support other women.
Yeah. You're like the Joy Fawcett in bobsledding. Joy Fawcett was our trailblazer in soccer with motherhood. When you're going through all this with Nico and Noah, and you're watching them, what are you most hopeful that they'll absorb from your journey?
I think the thing I'm most hopeful about is that I want them to see that I faced the challenges head on. It's like we went after them. Like, we didn't shy away from the challenges that we faced, because I can't even imagine the things they're going to have to overcome. I'm a hearing person. I'm not disabled. I have no concept of what their lives are going to look like, other than being an observer of what they've already been through. So for me, it really is, like, I hope that they are able to face challenges head on, and that's what I want them to be able to do. I want them to be able to, like, in a sports metaphor, like in the bobsled, I think about attacking the track. Like, I want them to attack the track of their lives and go after the challenges and go after the things they want. Now, for my youngest, that's not going to be a problem at all, because he's pretty headstrong. He's pretty much like me. But I need to instill that in them, because, like I said, the world's not going to do it for me. The world's not going to make sure that they're taken care of, and they need to be able to take care of themselves at the end of the day, disabled or not.
And I know it's not easy too. So, like, this whole journey for you, I'm thrilled that you're on it with them. And I know it's not easy, but gosh, we are going to be cheering as hard as we can.
We will be cheering you on so loudly. Bring it home. All we want is 2 more medals.
I appreciate it. Thank you guys for taking the time, and I love the show, so thanks so much.
Just a quick pose on 3. We do this at the end of the thing. So we're going to do a quick party pose.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. Oh my goodness. Gosh.
I have so much to say about this woman. First of
Yeah.
all, like, to be able to want something so bad that you just have to switch sports. Like, there's no way. Like, I'm an athlete, but there's no way I would have been able to, like, at 20, whatever, 2, 3, be like, let me just switch sports here and figure out. Although I will say bobsledding is fun. I want to do it. How can we get to Cortina and ride on the course?
Well, I'm telling you, you do not want to do it. It's so
I want
hard.
to.
It's like the G's. You got to go do it in Park City.
Jules, it's so fun. I mean, I was in an F-15.
This is what your head will do the whole time.
I was in an F-15 doing G's. Like, I like that stuff.
I threw up.
You did.
Blue Angels threw up.
Oh, you did. Yeah, no, not me. I could hold it down.
Oh, gosh.
I did my hick breathing.
This is a lot.
Elana,
Yeah,
man.
and like that her parents are like, what? We just Googled bobsledding and was like, yeah, Google that shit, GTS it, Google bobsledding, and there you go. Try that. Okay.
That's-
Elana, mad respect. All right. Party people, don't forget to subscribe to the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel so you can find us and watch us and see all the nonsense, not just hear all the nonsense. Click that little bell icon so you can get updates when new episodes go live.
Yes, and if you just take a second to, or maybe a minute, we would appreciate it, to rate, leave a comment, and subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And be sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at Welcome to the Party Show, where Julie, Billy, and I will bring the party straight to your feed. Another big shout out to Kate Diaz for our theme music. We love you.
Kate!
Jules, bring it in. We got to this out.
Okay.
You do
Take
it.
us. Oh,
You.
me? Okay.
Yeah.
On 3. 1, 2, 3. Ah!
Welcome to the Party is an independent production brought to you by Treat Media. Treat Media makes art for humans who want to stay human. Initial Digital is our production partner, and you can also watch our full conversations on the Welcome to the Party YouTube channel and follow us at Welcome to the Party Show on Instagram and TikTok. Thanks for listening.